Frogger 2: Swampy's Revenge is a pretty interesting game in the Dreamcast library. In a lot of ways, it is very similar to a game I covered previously, known as Centipede, in the sense that it's a 3D or modern interpretation of a classic arcade game, this one being none other than Frogger. Now, look, this may come off as a bit biased, but I've always preferred Frogger as a game over Centipede, as well. It's just more appealing of a game to me. Anyways though, back to the game on hand, Frogger 2: Swampy's Revenge is a sequel, believe it or not, to the 1997 PlayStation 1 game simply known as Frogger, which it itself was also a modern interpretation of Frogger. Yeah, the first Frogger became a greatest hits / million seller on the PS1, so naturally a sequel was in order. Frogger 2 works a lot of the same ways how the original arcade game works, in a sense that you have to collect 5 items to beat the level, and if you touch anything, you die. There are a few new things added to the game, however, to keep the game interesting. For starters, Frogger can now do a double jump. This is used to cover gaps in platforms. You can even, if you're clever, if you use it to skip chunks of certain levels, which is fun because it adds more experimentation to the way how you play the game. There's also power-ups, but I didn't like any of them, mostly because they just make you quicker, which, when you're trying to avoid enemies and obstacles in a stage, you don't really want to move faster, as well, you just end up hitting things, dying, and then having to start back from a checkpoint. I quite like the level design of the game though. Unlike most games which just use, your standard ice, grass, and desert stages, this game uses stuff like a haunted mansion and a space stage, which are very welcome in my book. This leads to the game not feeling boring or uninspired, which was my main issue with Centipede. Graphically speaking, I think the game is alright. This was originally a PS1 game that was ported over to the Dreamcast, and you can tell, but I wouldn't say that the game looks bad or anything like that. It cleans up very nicely with the VGA cables. I would just say that you can tell this isn't really pushing the system to its limits. Is all, go compare a game like Headhunter to this, and you can tell which one was designed from the ground up with the Dreamcast in mind. I think the soundtrack is alright for what it is. As I've stated in the past, I'm not a big music guy, but none of the music here bothered me, so it was alright. I do want to at least point out the title screen though, because that song is great though. Here, have a listen. Overall, Frogger 2: Swampy's Revenge isn't anything spectacular, but it is a very solid game for what it sets out to be. I would say this game is a little bit of a gem of sorts. Again, it's not some masterpiece like Chrono Trigger or something like that, but for what it is a good game. Overall, I give it a 3.5 stars out of 5. Give this one a shot sometime if you're looking for something new and rather inexpensive on your Dreamcast. Well, that's all, folks. If you like this video, like it down below, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, peace!